Transgender means how the person is born, whether male or female, the sex that they identify with internally doesn't match out their external.
Being transgender means that you may not be comfortable with who you are physically, and it doesn't necessarily line up with who you are emotionally and mentally, but you can get there with the help of your friends and your family.
Transgender is a topic that has been talked about on the internet, has been printed about in newspapers, and has even been broadcast in the radio. However, it's a topic that many people are still very uninformed about. In this documentary, we have interviewed people who have agreed to talk about what their journey has been with the person that they care about who happens to be transgender.
I think that someone knows that they're transgender when they don't necessarily feel comfortable within, the kind of a society norm of what is a boy or what is a girl. They kind of long for something different, either in the way they dress or in the clothes or just, how they have to present themselves. I think that's when they know that there's something a little bit different.
It's deep within them. It's just society and how they reflect on people coming out and realizing it to the public. I mean, boys are, when they're born, they're supposed to act and look the part, being rough, being rugged, and going with society's norms of a boy. And for a girl, it's supposed to be girls are pretty and they're nice and they dress up. But it's different. So when someone comes out as transgender, they're going against the norm.
How do I think when I know that someone is transgender? I don't. But it's up to that person on them or how they know. Because the way that they're growing up, as we're growing up, they find out what they like. We also find out things about ourselves that we don't know, which is totally fine.
How does someone know that they're a transgender? It all leads up to the person, because we can't identify them. We can't decide who they are. It's really who they think they are on the inside. If they think they're transgender and they are not with the body that they're born with, but inside they are different, I think that's when they actually find out. Because it doesn't rely on outside sources, doesn't rely that what you dress is about who you are as a person.
I found my friend was transgender, it's almost like I already knew, because he was like, "You want to go get your nails done, girl?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I wouldn't have no problem with it, and I felt very comfortable. I still accepted her and who she wanted to be, and I would still support her going forward no matter what.
How did I feel when my cousin told me that he was a transgender? I was shocked because it was out of nowhere. We was playing basketball, but I told him I still love him.
He was so afraid to tell me that his girlfriend told me. And I just don't want anybody to fear that I would think any different of them.
That's good. Congratulations. Be true to who you are. Please do. And I felt happy for Rudy. I really do. And no matter what challenges that may go through, I support Rudy, and I just hope she finds more about herself as she goes along with her life.
I listened and accepted immediately because I understand being different in this world of conformity can be hard.
I was honored enough to be able to meet someone pre-transition and be able to be a part of their journey to where they are now, and being able to see them in the pictures of us pre-transition to now, and thinking, wow, I've been there, I've helped them through all this stuff. We've had late night phone calls and I've been able to help them with some of their problems.
So when I found out about my friend and knew that she wanted to be a woman, it was a little hard for me at first, but then again, I caught on to it and catched up to it and then realized, okay, she's a girl now, Dorothy. What does she want to be called by? She wants to be called Margo, so I respect that. It's been a great journey so far.
I mean, I messed up a few times with the pronunciations, going from her to him, she to he. But with time and practice, as long as you're dedicated and you correct yourself on it, it's not hard. I mean, growing up, I was told to treat everybody the way you wanted to be treated, and if there's something different, go ahead and correct yourself and your ways of thinking to match the person's.
It wasn't hard seeing them as the gender that they were. I mean, to me, they were the same person as they've always been. And that's the best part about it, is they're not a different person. And a lot of people get that stigma that, oh, they've been creeping on me this whole time, but that's not how it is at all. Pronouns are something I've been working really hard with, and I really do believe that that does make a huge difference.
It wasn't necessarily hard for me to accept that they were transgender or to kind of see them as they wanted to be seen. I think it's just sometimes there are moments where you're so used to certain norms, or you're used to calling someone based on their appearance, and I think those are just slip of the tongues, but I think it's out of habit, and then once you kind of get in the mindset of it, it's kind of easier to just continue.
I think that society now is better than it has been in the past, but it's got a long ways to go still. And social media, we're getting there, but in real life, I mean, I still see people call other people trannies on the street, and it's kind of disgusting, and it hurts a little to see that people can treat each other like that.
I mean, I really feel for them because it makes me feel some type of way when I hear somebody say, okay, you're still a boy, you're not a girl. But if that's who they believe they are, then it doesn't matter if you like it or not. You should still respect them, because at the end of the day, they're just a person just like you.
Society may want us to be a certain way, follow a certain trend. I say identify yourself, be yourself, above all. No matter who tells you, no matter what tells you, no matter what group you're in, you're you at the end of the day.
I think society sees transgender pretty negatively, but I think most of the reason is that society just entirely is really not fond of change, and so when they see something they don't quite understand or something that they can't really follow, they just automatically think that that's a bad thing. But I think they need a little bit more information on the subject and more awareness in order for them to just not view it, like shut it down or just view it negatively.
So I was at this festival with my friend, and their mom was working a booth, and him and I had went to just go visit her, and his mom kept using her pronouns whenever he prefers him pronouns, and it kind of just like hurt, and he didn't say anything, and I said, hey, doesn't your son prefer these pronouns? And his mom just kept saying, no, my daughter prefers she pronouns. And I was like, clearly not, because you're making them uncomfortable. His stepdad came over then and said, hey, let them be who they are. And it was really cool to see that their stepdad was more comfortable with it than their birth mom.
One of the challenges that my friend of being transgender was mainly the bathroom issue. In a lot of locations they have certain bathrooms for, you know, what they identify as male or female, and sometimes it's they're afraid to go to the bathroom, or they're concerned or anxious about it. And I think the best thing is just to reassure them that it's okay, and just kind of be on the lookout in case if anybody is, you know, being a little bit snoopy about it. But it really is just a matter of assuring them and being with them and just making them feel comfortable.
My friend chose to be true to themselves. I noticed that they've become more comfortable, and honestly, he opened up more.
What is one thing that you've learned from your friend since they've chosen to be themselves? She is courageous. She's beautiful. She's living the dream.
If I could give advice to somebody that has a transgender in their life, as a friend or a co-worker, I would tell them to stick by them. You know, if that's your friend, be true to them, you know, respect them, you know, respect their thoughts, because they're human beings just like everybody else. You know, you never know what that person is going through, and so just by you being there and being their friend can change that person's whole day or life. You know, it means the world to them.
My advice to anyone who just had somebody come out to them is just to let them know that you're there for them.
Be aware that it's around, and you know, don't be disgusted. Don't reject it. Just accept it. It's change. As life goes on, things change, and this is a part of life. This is a part of change. You go through different changes to be the best of you can be.
mostly would love for people to gain from this is like, oh my gosh, guys, stop hiding, come on out, it's okay, because your friends and family, well, your family may not understand, but your friends are there to support you. We're not going to leave you hanging. We'll walk through this whole journey with you.